What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nonpfixion. I'm your fan list for this evening, and this is Real Fan Sports. So a friend of the channel sent this post from ESPN, their Instagram page, and it says breaking news, and it has, of course, has the baseball in front. And what the news is, what it's referring to is Major League Baseball's competition committee has voted to implement a pitch clock, larger bases, and ban defensive shifts starting in 2023 season, sources tell, and the source is Jeff Passan or Passan. Don't want to say it too wrong, but it's Jeffpassan. Now, currently in this post, they only have information towards the pitch clock, and basically there's going to be a 15-second clock when the bases are empty, and a 20-second clock when there's runners on. Now, also, the one thing too that's very interesting is there has to be two fielders on each side of second base, and both feet have to be on the dirt. Now, if you know baseball, you know strategically players when they line up on in infield, most of them, your shortstop, your second baseman, your first baseman, sometimes your third baseman, this depends on what the situation is, but they kind of stand on the edge, they stand on the grass to get themselves prepared, because, you know, there's a lot of space between second base and center field and first base and right field and third base and left field. There's so much space. So you shift to a direction to kind of cover more space. Now, unfortunately, what's going to happen now that they're banning the defensive shift, that's basically what it is. It's basically what you see in football. They're, you know, football players shift to one side to cover, to add coverage or more protection so they can make sure they don't lose out on a specific play. It's the same thing with baseball to a T. It's a little bit different because, of course, it's baseball. But in the situation, you'll see players the second baseman and shortstop, they'll shift further back when they know the person is more likely to pop out, or if they know a person this is a right-handed batter and he usually hits this direction, they'll shift that direction, and it's same for left and vice versa. And pitchers, they know how they can control the narrative by pitching a certain way, making a player hit a certain way. Now, one thing I did learn as a youth, when you learn from a pitching coach and a batting coach, you can directionalize where the ball goes just by changing the direction of your foot. And I know it's also almost determined based on the pitch that's coming, how fast it's coming, and what type it is. Now, that could be an issue in itself too. My question has been, though, is this a situation where players are possibly just kind of lazy and don't want to directionalize their shot or try to hit different places or be more challenging at the plate? Because the shift basically is chess. The shift is like, okay, well, we know we can cover this whole area. This is where most of these batters are going to hit. We can cover and we'll be safe and be good. Now, when they change that, you change that defensive strategy. Now that's gone. So players have to play. One, they have to play in the dirt. Two, they have to be in specific locations. So, are you doing it to get more points on the board? And I'm assuming the situation, more points mean more people, more excitement. That means more money in the long run. But also, could that mean longer games? People already complain about the length of the games as it is. Now, what we see right here on Twitter from Jeff, he says, okay, just to go back. So we read the first part already, but the second part is the vote among the competition committee was not unanimous. Players voted against the pitching clock and the shift restrictions. The vote for the larger bases was unanimous. Now, that's interesting that the base one was actually unanimous. The pitch one, I'm actually surprised it wasn't more unanimous on that side as well. The pitching clock basically makes pitchers have to pitch within a certain amount of time, so they won't delay the game even longer. The routines of players make the game longer, and it's usually the pitcher that takes up most of the bulk of the time. Now, it's already implemented in the minor leagues, and it seems to do really well there, and it's also has helped speed the game up a little bit. And that's, like I said, that's one of the biggest complaints among people who are new to the game or who have never seen it, or when you try to get them to talk about the sport, that they don't want to see it. It's because baseball it's a long-standing game, and it takes time. It's not that simple, it's not that quick, unless you have two teams that are kind of polar opposites. One is truly defensive heavy and one is offensive heavy. The game's going to go by a little bit faster, but it's going to be truly lopsided. Now, in this situation, what do you guys think as far as the defensive shift ban. I'm gonna say defensive shift. That's basically what it is, the shift ban, but also the pitch clock. I think the pitch clock is going to be a good thing. I think it's going to be a good thing. People are not going to like it in the beginning, but I think it's going to turn out to be a good thing. The shift, I think, as a person who's played baseball for a little while, I don't think it's really needed, but I kind of understand where they're going with it. I think it's about speeding the game up and creating more offense and more points, possibly to get the games over quicker. Because right now games are averaging, 2 hours or 2.5 hours. But I also think in the beginning, the shift ban is going to cause games to be longer in the beginning until players get used to certain things and the game maybe eventually speed up with the play clock. I mean, the pitch clock coming in hand. So I'm not sure. Now, the larger base one, I wonder if they have something to do just also with defense and offense, where players are just having issues getting on base. One, because of the shifts, they're not being able to get on base. But two, the base is small. The base is technically small. So when you're going for a second or third and you're sliding in, that player at the base can cover so much of the base with their own body and just put the ball in front of it. So it's so much easier to protect the base. It's to protect the base from an offensive player running across try to either catch the base or get all around home to score. So in this essence, I'm kind of thinking that's more so this deals with on-base percentages, and probably in the long run, they're all three of these, if you really think about it, could be connected as far as on-base percentage, offense, higher scores, more entertainment, more excitement, in the long run, more money. So now that it just in my head it's kind of clicked together, I think it does make sense. I think it makes sense, but I know baseball players are true creatures of habit and superstition, so this may change some of those players to the point where I think they might not really like it in the beginning. It's going to be one of those things you're going to have to force feed it to them, and that's basically what baseball is doing, because they know it's full of superstitious people, which is going to be interesting. Can't wait to see how this goes down and how much rebelliousness is going to happen in this game. But let me know what your thoughts about this is. My name is Nonpfixion. I am your FANALYST for this evening, and this is a little bit of baseball news. So appreciate you, love you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Catch you next one. Peace out. Interesting.